Size matters. How an animal's relative size can affect its behavior. Welcome to the intertidal zone, the area on the rocky shore between the tides. Despite its harsh appearance, countless organisms have found ways to adapt to the waves, sunlight, and air. When you're an animal in the intertidal, life is a constant juggle between finding your next meal and not becoming someone else's. For some, a bigger body comes with benefits. And for the striped shore crab, Pachygrapsus crassipes, the bigger you are, the better. Now, why is that? Before we dig any deeper, let's get to know our new friend. Pachygrapsus crassipes, when broken down into its root derivations, means thick-footed. They have powerful flattened legs with barbs that act like anchors. They bear down and hug the rocks to avoid getting swept away. Shore crabs are opportunistic, meaning that they will capitalize on any opportunity for food or shelter that they can. Though they can be found in close quarters, shore crabs are asocial and don't have many non-aggressive interactions. They depend on their keen eyesight and scent to navigate the terrain, as well as the reliable daily patterns of the tide and sun. Their main predators come from above, and they'll quickly dive for cover when a gull flies overhead. Let's talk about the birds and the bees. It makes sense that larger animals of the same species would be older. In addition to having learned more throughout their relatively longer life, they'll also be more reproductively mature. With reproductive maturity comes a newfound instinct that puts everything else into perspective. What else? How about predation risk? Well, smaller crabs are a much easier target for predators. Birds in particular have been shown to be picky towards smaller prey to avoid injury. The larger the crab, the harder they pinch. And finally, the elephant in the room, conspecific predation. In English, Pachygrapsus crassipes are cannibalistic. Anything goes in the intertidal for opportunistic feeders like Pachygrapsus. Crabs must molt in order to grow bigger, but in the period that they have a new, soft shell, they are especially vulnerable to each other. Younger crabs go through this process more frequently than older crabs. So far, we've deduced the following. Smaller crabs should be hesitant to leave their safe burrows, wary of predator presence, and pacifistic towards larger crabs. So we decided to test this. At the USC Wrigley Institute for Environmental Studies, we set up outdoor mesocosms that simulated the rocky intertidal zone. We caught a variety of different-sized shore crabs from the nearby town of Two Harbors, which we divided into 3 size classes: small, medium, and large. And then we put them through experiments. We observed their interactions in the presence of mixed neighbor sizes, mixed densities, and when they started to forage, a predatory stimulus. Out of the behaviors we observed, we decided to label 3: aggression, boldness, and exploratory tendency. After hours of testing, scoring recorded playbacks, and statistical analyses, we determined the following. Size matters. Smaller crabs respond differently depending on their environment. On the other hand, larger crabs are consistently more exploratory, bold, and aggressive across multiple contexts. Also, we found that neighbors matter. The bigger their neighbors, the more reserved the crab. With more neighbors, each size class reacted differently. With Pachygrapsus, we've just scratched the surface. There are still so many questions left to answer on the influence of size on behavior. And since size matters, we'd like to give a big thank you for watching.